This is New York City, the most crowded city in the entire United States. While it already has 8 million full-time residents, it also welcomes around 65 million visitors each year. I can't believe it's this busy on a Tuesday afternoon here. We're Jamie and Skylar, and over the next 4 days, we're going to be exploring New York City's most densely populated borough, Manhattan, to find some of its best food and can't-miss attractions.
Hard to believe we're going to the top of that thing.
While we will be going to several highly rated, well-known spots, we're also going to be in search of some hard-to-find, underground hidden gems. Skylar says it looks pretty sketchy. So bring your appetite and your hand sanitizer and come along as we begin this next adventure right now. The first place we're trying to find is here in Chinatown. It is located either inside or underneath an abandoned mall. And according to the reviews, it has great food, but it's really hard to find. So we are on the hunt for it right now, and we are really excited to see what it's like.
So we've been finding that navigation via GPS is a little bit challenging around here because your signal's constantly going in and out with the tall buildings. But right now the phone is saying we're within about 250 feet of this place, so hopefully we find it soon.
So the reviews say to enter the mall from a side door and go down the stairs to the basement. And we did find a side door, so I think we're gonna go in.
Looks pretty sketchy.
Skylar says it looks pretty sketchy.
So now that we're inside here, it's not that bad at all. There's actually quite a few stores in here.
You say it's not that bad at all?
Right. Well, Jamie thinks it's a little bit bad, but...
We have found some stairs that lead down to the basement, so I think we're in the right spot. I'm pretty sure we found our spot.
So we ended up going with one order of steamed dumplings and one order of steamed buns. It is cash only here, and it was only $10. And I'm thinking by the end of this trip, I may actually be halfway decent at using chopsticks. So when we got here, there was actually a lady sitting right over there making these things from scratch. So these are as fresh as you're ever gonna find. So these things are filled with some super tender and juicy chicken, some sort of green vegetable, and the texture is perfect. These are probably the best dumplings I've ever had, and I'm so glad we found this place.
I was definitely most excited to try these steamed buns, and they look even better in person. Oh my gosh.
Look like they're juicy too, huh?
Yeah. I need to actually get into the meat. I love the soft, chewy texture of the bun itself, and the meat inside is really tender. I'm not sure what sauce is in there. It's not overpowering. Overall, this is a great steamed bun.
So we've made it here to Thomas Paine Park, which is right across the street from the US courthouse and a bunch of other super old, super cool, massive government buildings, as well as the access to the subway that we're gonna be hopping on pretty soon. It was about a 3/4 mile walk, which was much needed because that lunch was way bigger than we thought. At just 10 bucks, I think we both just thought we were gonna be getting a small snack, but we left that place stuffed. I think I'd have to give it a 1 out of 10 though for atmosphere, but probably a 9 out of 10 for food quality, and definitely a 10 out of 10 for value.
We did get a pretty late start this morning because we didn't get to bed until around 2 a.m. last night. In order to save a little bit of money on our flights, we flew into the Long Island airport. From there, we took a ride share to the train station, took the train station to the subway station, then took the subway to Chinatown. So by the time we checked into our hotel, it was after 11 p.m., but we are in the city that never sleeps, so we didn't have any trouble finding a place to eat, and we were hungry. We did know that there was a well-known noodle shop nearby that stayed open until like 4 or 5 a.m. It's another spot that's in a basement, but the atmosphere was really cool. There you could watch the chef hand pull noodles as the dishes were being ordered. I ordered one of their signature dishes with extra wide noodles. I would say the texture of the noodles was something in between a dumpling and a noodle that you'd find in a chicken noodle soup. And Skylar went with a dish with their signature chili sauce. They make it with a special chili that comes from China, and it was so delicious. We would recommend trying a dish with that chili sauce because it had such a unique flavor and it wasn't super spicy. After dinner, we went to bed and slept in this morning. When we finally woke up, we did go to a coffee shop, and while we make our way to our next spot on the subway, we're gonna show you a little bit of footage from that.
So we both agreed that one thing that we had to find while here in Chinatown was an Asian coffee shop with ube lattes. We've only had 2 ube lattes in our lives and they've both been amazing. And this one is as well, although I will say it's not as sweet as the other ones we've had, but that's a good thing because it allows you to taste the coffee flavor and the ube more, plus it's super creamy. Now the coffee shop itself is pretty unassuming. It's located inside what kind of appears to be like a bank building, but once you get in there, it's small, it's cute, and we loved it. It was a great way to start off our first morning in Manhattan. So since we're going to be out and about all day today, Jamie decided to take her coffee back to our hotel room to get ready, and I decided to enjoy mine while walking around exploring the area around our hotel a little bit. Now, one reason we really wanted to stay here in Chinatown, in addition to all of the amazing food, is because they are known for having a lot of markets and thrift shops where you can find some really good deals, and I am a bargain shopper, so I'm pretty excited to see what we can find here. Now today is Sunday and they actually have a little street market going on catty corner from our hotel, so we're gonna see what we can find. So I gotta say, the stuff I'm finding at this market is pretty random. They have produce, apparel, random small electronics, even power tools, and a surprising amount of crafts. So I actually did come across something I was interested in at that market, but unsurprisingly, it's cash only and we have very limited cash. So while Jamie finishes up getting ready, I decided I would walk to the nearest Bank of America ATM, grab some cash so we can actually do some shopping at these markets over the next few days.
I feel like we got the true New York City experience. We hopped on the line we wanted, but it ends up it was in the opposite direction. So we hopped off, got going the right direction, but it was so crowded we kind of had to push our way on and off. And now we're here in Grand Central. It's so cool to see the high ceilings, the architecture, the cool chandeliers, and the murals. Plus it's really fun people watching.
So the main reason we hopped on the subway today was because Jamie really wanted to visit Central Park, but we decided to kind of plan a route that would take us by some other famous landmarks on the walk from Grand Central Station. The first of which is St. Patrick's Cathedral, and it does look super cool to see this giant cathedral surrounded by all the skyscrapers. You can go in and look around a bit. I think they do recommend a $5 donation.
We have made it to Central Park, and on the walk over here, we did go through Rockefeller Center where they light the tree and have the ice skating rink in the winter months. That's also where they film the Today Show and Saturday Night Live. Now the streets all along our walk were just filled with restaurants, bars, shops, and skyscrapers. I really enjoyed it, but I could tell that Skylar was ready to get away from the crowds and the traffic. So we are both happy to be here at Central Park where it is a lot calmer. Now this park is 2.5 miles long and a half mile wide. So there's no way we are gonna explore all of it. I think we're gonna walk on the trails for a little bit and then hop back on the subway. We found a nature sanctuary inside the park. The fact that this is located right next to all the skyscrapers downtown is pretty wild. What a contrast.
Now, after what's already been our 4th subway ride in less than 24 hours here in Manhattan, one of which was definitely in the wrong direction, I think we're finally starting to get the hang of the subway system a little bit. It's not too bad once you figure out where the trains go. Also, they make it really easy to get on. You just scan a credit card and for $3 you can ride it one way. Also, they only charge you up to a maximum of $35 per person on a rolling 7-day period, which is really nice. Now, I will say that the subway stations themselves and access points do vary significantly as far as the vibe goes. Some, like Grand Central Station, are really nice, whereas others, like the one we got off on last night, are a little bit sketchy. I was a little bit concerned when we got off on that one that Jamie might want to turn around and head back to Florida because there was trash all over the place. Thankfully, though, after we walked a few blocks, it did get a lot nicer. Next, we're going to take you to our hotel to show you where we're staying, and then we'll see you at dinner.
Now for this trip, we are staying at Hotel Mimosa right in the middle of Chinatown. When we were first booking, we were a little bit concerned about the location, and we'll show you why inside. Now, while the outside of this building looks pretty plain, the inside looks pretty nice for a budget hotel. Now, the concern I was talking about is right outside this window because this hotel is across the street from the Manhattan Bridge, which has road noise and subway noise. Thankfully, that window is quadruple paned, so when it's shut, we only hear a low rumbling from the subway, and we slept really good last night. Overall, this room is small and simple, so there's not a whole lot to show you. We have a queen bed, a TV, a desk, a rack for hanging clothes, and a bathroom that's surprisingly stocked with toiletries and even dual shower heads. Now, so far we are really loving the location and think it's a great value for Manhattan at well under $200 a night. Since we knew this hotel room was going to be quite cramped and then it was going to be a journey to get here from Long Island, both on the train and the subway, it was really important to us to only bring carry-on bags, and that was so easy to do thanks to today's sponsor. This is Extra's Vacuum Bag Plus, a new and improved version of their best-selling travel compression bag.
This bag's new side zip opening makes packing fast and effortless, and its heavy-duty zippers and strong anti-rip material make it built to last for even more trips. It's so easy to pack the bag, zip it up, attach the air compressor to the centralized valve, and fit up to 3 times as much in the same amount of space. And because of its new frosted transparency, it's now much easier to see what's inside, so I can quickly find that one pair of shorts I'm looking for.
Now, if you're interested in packing faster and more efficiently, then go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the video description to order your own vacuum kit or one of our other favorite Extra travel essentials like their award-winning design grid backpack or their space-saving wallets and card holders. And don't forget to use code Explorcation at checkout to receive an additional 20% off of any sales they're currently offering on Extra's website. We do have to thank them for sponsoring this episode. Now let's go see more of this city. Now for dinner tonight, we wanted to find a place that served Moroccan tagine because we haven't been able to find it ever since we had it in Morocco last year. We ended up going to Terra Kitchen in Tribeca. Skylar went with a spicy tagine. It was tomato based and had chicken and dates in it. I went with a vegetarian tagine and it had artichoke, olives, lemon, and raisins in it. Both of the dishes were delicious. They were very different and had spices in it that we can't even describe. So if you're an adventurous eater, that is definitely a place worth checking out. Next, we're heading to the oldest spot in New York City to enjoy a drink.
Our drink spot brings us to the East Village neighborhood to McSorley's Old Ale House. It was founded by an Irish immigrant way back in 1854 and is known to be the longest continuously operating saloon in all of New York. It's older than the Brooklyn Bridge and even the Statue of Liberty. Now, I enjoy drinking a beer in pretty much any environment, but I'm especially excited to enjoy one and one with this much history. So the McSorley's experience was everything I hoped it would be. It was really like going back in time. They only had two types of beers, a light and a dark. Both of them were really good, but I did prefer the dark. Now the staff there were super friendly. They told us a lot of cool stories about the place. I think my favorite had to be that Abraham Lincoln actually visited the bar way back in 1860, and they even have the stool that he sat in on display behind the bar. I think this is where we're gonna end it for tonight, but we'll meet back up with you in the morning.
We started off our day this morning by walking to Paper Sun's Cafe here in Chinatown. They're known for really good coffee and mooncakes. Now, mooncakes are a really dense pastry. They have a very thin crust and the inside often has red bean paste with additional flavors. The one we tried was black sesame, and the filling inside was similar to a chewy brownie or maybe even a cookie dough texture. It was really good and we enjoyed it with the coffee. We ordered a black sesame and vanilla latte. That black sesame really enhances the flavor of the coffee, and it was just overall very smooth.
Now, one really cool thing about Manhattan's Chinatown is that it is the largest enclave of Chinese people in the entire Western Hemisphere. It has a population of almost 100,000 people packed into less than 2 square miles. And I'm not even joking when I say it has probably 5 to 10 different Asian restaurants on every single block. It truly is a foodie's paradise. But Chinatown's just one of a few different neighborhoods in Manhattan that is known for having some of America's best food. And another one of them's just a few blocks away, and we're gonna take you there next. Now, I do wish more people would listen to this sign because unfortunately we have seen quite a bit of trash scattered throughout the city and a few rats as well. So on this side of Canal Street is Chinatown, and on that side is Little Italy.
We have made it to Little Italy, and my first impression is that this is a great spot for shopping. There are shops everywhere and they come out onto the sidewalks. There's so much to look at, but of course, it's known for really good food. I know Skylar has identified 3 different spots that are supposed to have really great pizza, and they all do it a little bit different. So we plan to try a slice at each of them.
Now, even though they're literally only separated by a street, I gotta say the vibe changed instantly when we got into Little Italy. It's still very busy, but not quite as chaotic. Also, it's quite a bit cleaner. There's a lot of restaurants with dining out on the sidewalks that look really nice. But on the downside, we did immediately have several vendors approaching us trying to sell us stuff, whereas that never happened once when we were in Chinatown.
When walking through Little Italy, you do have to be prepared for most of the restaurant staff to invite you into their restaurant for a meal, but at least they do seem to be nice about it and not very pushy.
Now, Jamie and I absolutely love Neapolitan style pizza, and we figured we'd be able to find a bunch of it here in Little Italy, and it is everywhere, but unfortunately they don't really sell it by the slice. You have to buy an entire pizza, and we just don't have the appetite for that. Fortunately though, we did find a place that's rated really highly and is known to have kind of a hybrid style of New York and Neapolitan style pizza, and they do sell it by the slice. It's called Le Industrie Pizzeria, and we're gonna try that first. Now, I'm not a huge sweets eater, but I did notice that right next to this pizzeria is a place selling my favorite type of Italian dessert. So if we have any appetite whatsoever after this slice of pizza, we might be getting this Napoleon.
So we went with the burrata. It's their signature slice. It's on traditional New York crust. It comes with tomato sauce, mozzarella cheese, burrata cheese, and basil. My first ever New York slice of pizza. That crust is crispy. I love how thin it is, and I actually love that there is not cheese throughout because the tomato sauce tastes so good. And then you get a bite with the burrata. That cheese is so creamy. This is a really good slice of pizza.
I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've ever had burrata cheese on a pizza. I agree with Jamie. It's super creamy and delicious. I like it a lot, but the crust is the star of this pizza for me. Now, I know we still got 2 other pizza places to go to, but it's still tempting to just get another slice of this one. It's gonna be hard to beat.
Our second pizza spot is known for its traditional New York pizza, and it was the best rated pizza spot that we could find in all of Little Italy. But of course, the day we're here visiting, the one day of the week, they are closed. So we did contemplate going to the second best spot, but ultimately we decided that we did want to try the best spot. So I think we're gonna make a return trip to Little Italy tomorrow to try that pizza and maybe a Napoleon. And right now we're making our way to our third pizza spot. So we had to venture outside of Little Italy for this pizza spot for 2 reasons. First, it's one of the highest rated pizza slices in all of New York City. And second, they actually mill their own grains underneath the pizza shop for their pizza crust. So let's give Scar's Pizza a try.
So this one is definitely bigger than the first one. It's also like flimsier. I think it's gonna be a little harder to eat, but I'm ready to give this a try. So this one definitely uses more tomato sauce and more mozzarella. It also seems quite a bit more greasy, but it's super flavorful and it is delicious. Completely different than the first one though. Yeah, look at all that grease on there.
So this pizza slice is really good too. The crust near this end was not very crunchy, but up here it is very crunchy and actually a little bit burnt. I did really like that burnt flavor, but overall I do think I like the first slice just a little bit more. It was a little less greasy and I really like that cheese they put on top.
Now, if you're a fan of heights like Jamie and I are, you may want to visit one of the observation towers while you're in Manhattan. And I think there's 5 major ones to choose from. We were deciding between One World and Summit One Vanderbilt. Now, the advantage of Summit One Vanderbilt is that its observation platform is actually outdoors. Also, it has an art installation and it's located further to the north, so you have better views of landmarks up there like the Empire State Building. But the advantage of One World is that it's actually located at the very top of the tallest building in the entire Western Hemisphere. Now, the One World observation deck did have availability today, whereas Summit One we would have had to wait till tomorrow. And the forecast tomorrow is looking pretty cloudy and rainy, so we decided we'd rather not take our chances with the weather tomorrow. Plus, we found a really good deal for One World on Groupon, so we're heading there right now. Hard to believe we're going to the top of that thing.
Now, in order to get up to the observation decks, you do take an elevator over 100 stories, and it goes by so fast. I think the stack here said it was only about 47 seconds. You don't even realize it because they're playing a video for you on the screens of the elevator as you come up. And then once you step off the elevator, you watch a little video, and then the walls raise up to show the incredible view of the city. There are 2 different levels where you can enjoy the views from, and there's even a cafe and restaurant up here. So I think this is the Brooklyn Bridge. This is the Manhattan Bridge. And this is like the Chinatown area that we have been spending most of our time in so far. So we're pretty sure the building in the middle of the screen right now is where we're staying. And look how tiny it is from up here.
Now we are currently in One World Trade Center, which opened up in 2014. They actually just began construction on Two World Trade Center, and that is scheduled to finish up in 2031. They're both located right next to the original location of the Twin Towers and where the 9/11 Memorial is located. I think we're gonna head down there right now and pay our respects, and then we'll meet back up with you in Chinatown.
After stopping through our hotel, we walked to the Nolita neighborhood, which is just north of Little Italy, because there is a restaurant that combines two of our favorite things, which are Thai food and tiki bars. We both ordered the fat siu. Skylar got the braised beef and I got the chicken. So those are wide noodles. They're very chewy. I really like the texture. They're not quite as good as the ones we had in Seattle, but I would say better than most.
I agree with Jamie. The noodles aren't quite the best we've ever had, but they are up there, and the braised beef in this is delicious. It's way better than your typical beef that you find in pad see ew. I really like the sauce as well. It's a little bit sweet, a little bit salty, not very spicy, but they did bring us some jalapenos on the side, which are really good, and also some powdered cayenne pepper to spice it up a bit.
The chicken in my dish is grilled. They left the skin on it, so it's really tender on the inside and crispy on the outside.
So we both thought the food at Thai Diner was fantastic, but we felt like we missed out on the full experience just a little bit because the inside looked really cool, but there was a wait to sit in there. So we just took the first spots available outside because we have a concert we have to get to in a little bit and a spot for drinks we want to hit before that. It's actually right behind me. It's called the Chin Up Bar, which is definitely one of the more cleverly branded bars you're going to come across. They specialize in gin drinks, which I really enjoy, so I'm excited to get in there. So I love that this bar has a boozy scale assigned to each of its drinks. Looks like it goes from 0 to 5. I am definitely not considering anything under a 3. So I think I've narrowed it down to 2 options. I'm looking at the purple Negroni and the Aquavit Old Fashioned, just because you don't see Aquavit hardly anywhere. But I love Negronis, so I might get that one.
So I went with their non-alcoholic spritz. The bartender described it as kind of like a Dr. Pepper, which I absolutely love. It's cherry forward, but has spices on the back end, and it is delicious.
So I ended up ordering the purple Negroni, but I'm a little bit afraid that this one may have ruined all of the Negronis for me because it was so good. I love the blueberry in it. I also had a couple liqueurs, one from Italy and one from France, that added some really nice flavors to it. And it had white pepper in it, which gave it a really nice spice. It was a fantastic drink. Now, I'm definitely tempted to order another one because there are a lot of really good sounding cocktails on this menu, but we got to head over to our concert, which is right around the corner, and then we'll meet back up with you in the morning.
We are starting this morning back in Nolita, right on the edge of Little Italy. We're heading to a coffee shop that's known for roasting its own beans. It also makes its own syrups and milks.
So we just got out of milkweed. I got an oat milk latte with house-made vanilla syrup, and Jamie got a pistachio milk latte with house-made rosewater syrup. So far, the coffees we've been having here in New York just seem to keep getting better and better because both of those lattes were fantastic. They were both extremely creamy and perfectly balanced between the roastiness of the coffee and the sweetness of the syrups. Now, since we are right on the edge of Little Italy, I think we're gonna go grab that piece of pizza from the place that was closed yesterday, but it doesn't open for about another hour or so, so I think we're gonna check out some of the local thrift shops. It's actually supposed to be really rainy this afternoon and evening, and I forgot to pack a raincoat, so I'm hoping I can find one. I'm sure Jamie will have a fun time looking through the clothes too. So unfortunately, we kind of struck out at that store. It turned out to be more of a vintage store than a thrift store. There was a lot of cool stuff in there, but the prices were pretty high. We were able to kill some time though, and the pizza place is actually open now. We decided to get in there before it started pouring because the skies are definitely getting darker. Jamie's in there getting a slice right now. We'll see what it's like.
So the pizza at Casa Mulberry was definitely worth coming back for. That crust was a little bit crispy without being too burnt. It was just a little bit oily, but we both agreed that the star of this slice had to be that sauce. It was the best sauce of the 3 slices we tried. When it comes to best overall slice, that is going to depend on what kind of pizza we're in the mood for. If we're wanting more of that traditional New York slice, this is the spot. If we're wanting to have it with a little bit of an Italian flair, then La Industria is the spot. And it could also depend on how much time we have, because we did notice that today there was already a line on the sidewalk for La Industria, whereas we were able to walk right into this place and grab the first slice of the day.
So we should probably also mention that on our way to Casa Mulberry, we went past Ferrera Italian Bakery, which is the spot that had that Napoleon I was looking at yesterday, so we had to stop in and get it. I picked up the Napoleon, Jamie also got a cannoli, and we didn't even realize till we got into that place that it has a lot of history here in New York City. It's one of their oldest Italian bakeries at over 130 years old. I think we're actually gonna eat it right here on the sidewalk and then try a little bit more to find me a raincoat, because Jamie just got a notification on her phone that we're in a flash flood watch and can get up to 5 inches of rain between tonight and tomorrow.
Now, we couldn't come to Little Italy without trying a cannoli. So the outside of that is crunchy but not crumbly. Both the texture and flavor remind me of a crunchy pie crust. And the inside, to me, the texture is more like a pudding. It's not overly sweet. It's really good. I think I read online somewhere that the recipes for cannolis are secret and they span over 3 centuries. So it's definitely a spot worth stopping in to try one.
So Napoleon's maybe my all-time favorite type of dessert. Oh man. Well, you can still eat the bottom half at least. Unfortunately, Jamie's cannoli just took a tumble, but thankfully this Napoleon is huge, so I'll be happy to share it with her. So this is incredibly creamy, not overly sweet. It's delicious. I wouldn't say it's quite as fresh tasting as the one I had in Morocco, but probably the second best Napoleon I've ever had. Would definitely recommend it. Now, I definitely wouldn't typically recommend eating something that's fallen onto a sidewalk, let alone a New York City sidewalk, but this did land perfectly on this side, so I think it's safe to eat off this one, especially considering how good Jamie says this is. I think it's worth the risk. Yeah, that's fantastic.
I can't believe it's this busy on a Tuesday afternoon here. We have been striking out when it comes to finding actual thrift stores, but we found ourselves on this street where there were designer purses, sunglasses, and watches all just laid out on the sidewalk. There were so many people there looking at them. Now, I'm not really into that kind of stuff and have no idea how authentic those things are, so we just kind of walked on through. But I would say it was another authentic New York experience checked off the list.
We made a stop by our hotel room to grab Jamie's raincoat. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find me one, but we did find this, which will definitely keep me dry. Plus, it's the souvenir, so I had to pick it up. We also picked this up at one of the many fruit stands on the side of the street. This is actually jackfruit. We've had it before, but it's always been prepared either in sushi or in like a barbecue sandwich. I've never had anything with the texture quite like that. It's a little bit spongy. It's quite sweet. I'd say the flavor is like maybe a cross between like a pineapple and a banana. This is pretty good. I wasn't expecting it to have a pit in it though. I don't know how I never noticed this before, but Jamie just pointed out that we actually have a really good view of One World Trade Center from our window in our room. Right there.
On the way to our dinner spot, we walked past this Malaysian jerky spot. We looked it up on Google and it's supposedly rated really good. Skylar thought it'd be a great plain snack tomorrow.
I got one spicy, one not spicy.
Nice.
As you can probably tell, it has started raining out, but thankfully Hotel Mimosa does allow you to borrow umbrellas. But even with that umbrella, we are still getting a little bit wet. So we decided to stop by Pretty Ricky's on the way to our dinner spot because they have a happy hour going on. So Pretty Ricky's has a pretty awesome 70s vibe and also is open air, so we are loving that. For happy hour, they have $7 beers and cocktails. Jamie went with grapefruit juice and I went with penicillin, which is Scotch whiskey, lemon, and ginger syrup. Cheers. Oh wow, that is strong and tart. Also a little bit sweet. Lots of whiskey in there. That's a good deal for $7. Now I know a lot of you out there are from small towns and rural areas like Jamie and I are, and the thought of visiting New York City might seem a little bit scary, and you're probably wondering about the safety. So while we ride out this rain, I did want to take a second to talk about it. I got to start off by saying we've probably walked around this city 15 miles or so already, some of it during the day, some of it at night, and we've never really felt in danger. There's a pretty good police presence here. Also, even after midnight, there's always a lot of people on the streets, so it just helps you feel more safe. So we've never felt in danger, but obviously we've used common sense, always tried to stay on busier streets after dark and been aware of our surroundings. But there is one thing that has kind of scared us in New York City, and that's actually the bicycles. When you're going through a crosswalk here, cars will generally stop for you, but the bikes will just keep on going. And if we wouldn't have stopped or altered our paths a couple of times, we probably would have gotten run over by one. Now, I'm definitely not going to tell you all the streets here are the cleanest, and some areas are very smelly, but overall we have felt really safe.
Now for dinner, we're here at Kat's Deli. It's known to be pretty touristy, but even the locals we've talked to said we had to come and give it a try. It's known as being the oldest continuously operating deli in the city. Now we had to stand outside in a line to get a ticket like this, and then we could have stood in line inside, or we could have done table service, so we are sitting at a table right now. And then once we're done eating, we'll go up and pay with our ticket. Our server started us off with pickles, and there were a ton of them. Good thing we like pickles.
Now, I'm pretty sure this is the most sour pickle I've ever had, and Jamie loves it, but I prefer this one, a little more mild. Now, Kat's is known for having several types of amazing sandwiches, but by far their most famous is their hot pastrami, so that's what we ordered. Their sandwiches are also known for being gigantic, so we just decided to split one of them.
We just got done eating at Kat's, and that was hands down the best pastrami sandwich we have ever had, and it is not even close. The quality of meat is just in a whole separate category compared to any other pastrami we've ever had. It was cut really thick and super tender. It was almost melt in your mouth. We're really glad we didn't skip it just because people say that it's touristy.
I was pretty apprehensive about spending almost $30 on a deli sandwich, but now that I know how high quality that meat is and how big the sandwich is, I would probably come here and get that sandwich every time we come back to New York.
after dinner, we did hop back on the subway because there was another place I was really excited to see here in the city. We are on our way there right now, but we did stop through Bryant Park because I wanted to eat my dessert. We had actually stopped by a place before dinner because we knew that by the time we were done with cats, it was going to be closed. We went to this spot that makes mochi to order, which is a soft and chewy rice cake that's usually filled with something sweet inside. It was such a cute spot. They even had this really old video recorder that still worked there. I ordered their black sesame mochi and it was really hard not to eat it before dinner, but I didn't want to spoil my appetite for cats. Now it's really hard to tell the difference between the chewy rice part and the filling in this one because they're practically the same color, but the outer rice layer is so chewy and soft and the inner layer is quite dense. Now if you've never had black sesame before, it tastes quite nutty and a little bit earthy. I really love the flavor and this is great mochi. The energy here is unlike any place I've ever been. There's the famous ball drop, way up there.
So it's a Tuesday night. There's a flash flood watch right now. It's supposed to be pouring, so we thought there was at least a chance that it wouldn't be packed here tonight, but clearly we were wrong.
I've quickly come to realize that seeing Times Square on TV does not do it justice. You've got to see it in person. I have seen that people will walk into the middle of this street, even when traffic is coming, just to get a video or photos, and then cars will start honking. It is so chaotic. These 3 days in Manhattan have been unlike anything we've ever experienced. It has been crowded and chaotic, but it's also been a lot of fun. Now, preparing to come here, we did research and had a ton of places that we wanted to visit. And then we also had recommendations from family and friends. And then we met locals here that provided us even more recommendations. So I think we might be leaving here with even more places we want to visit than when we initially came. Now, I don't think we're going to want to be moving here anytime soon, but we're definitely going to want to come back to visit. Now, if you live here or have visited and have any recommendations you'd add to our list, make sure to leave them in the comments. And if you enjoyed exploring the city with us, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to see what we get up to next, make sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on. Thanks for watching.
Now, you didn't think we'd come all the way to Manhattan and not get a traditional New York bagel, did you? This is from Russ & Daughters. It's one of New York's most famous bagel shops. It's been around for over 110 years. This is the Fancy Delancey. It has smoked tuna, a horseradish dill cream cheese, and some other stuff on it as well. On a garlic bagel, too. That is so freaking good. The bagel is chewy, tastes really fresh. I'm glad we went with the garlic because the garlic flavor is great, but I think my favorite thing is the cream cheese. This horseradish dill cream cheese is so freaking good. The tuna is great too. Overall, it's just amazing.
Now, we were considering just getting a plain bagel, but I'm glad we went with the sandwich because every ingredient in here is amazing. It blends together perfectly.